Dumped and furious, my candy addict parents left me their kids. It's been a whirlwind the past few days, and honestly, I'm still trying to process everything that's happened. I've always known my parents had their issues, but this has taken it to a whole new level, and I'm beyond furious. I'm writing this here because I desperately need advice from anyone who's been in a similar situation, or even if you haven't, I just don't know what to do next. To give you some context, my parents have been candy addicts for years. It's no secret to anyone who knows them. They've always prioritized their sweet tooth over everything else: bills, responsibilities, and unfortunately, their kids. I tried to distance myself from the chaos as much as I could over the years, but the past few days have dragged me right back into their mess, and I'm angry beyond words. And they've got 3 kids. 3. A 14-year-old male, a 9-year-old female, and a 7-year-old male. All 3 of them have been living in absolute chaos their entire lives. My parents' candy binges have always been their main focus, so you can imagine what kind of upbringing these kids have had. I've tried to step in here and there, but I've got my own life to manage, and my parents always brushed off my concerns with excuses or promises they never kept. And then, a few days ago, everything hit the fan. I was at home, enjoying what I thought would be a quiet evening for once. Out of nowhere, my parents showed up at my door, looking frantic. They didn't even bother with small talk. They just shoved the kids inside and started rambling about how they needed to take care of some things and that they'd be back soon. I barely had time to react before they were gone, leaving me with 3 confused and scared kids staring up at me. At first I thought maybe it was just another one of their ridiculous candy runs and that they'd be back in a few hours. But as the night went on, I started to realize this wasn't going to be a quick thing. The kids didn't have any of their stuff. No clothes, no school supplies, nothing. It was like my parents had just decided to drop them off and leave without a second thought. The next morning, I got a call that confirmed my worst fears. My parents had been arrested for dealing candy, not just using it, dealing it. And now they're looking at serious jail time. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how they thought they could get away with this. But more importantly, I'm left with their 3 kids and absolutely no plan for what to do next. The past few days have been a nightmare. The 14-year-old is angry and withdrawn, which I get. He's old enough to understand what's going on, and he's been shouldering way more responsibility than any kid his age should. The 9-year-old is clingy and anxious, constantly asking when her parents are coming back, and the 7-year-old, well, he's just a ball of energy who doesn't seem to fully grasp the situation. He is bouncing off the walls while I'm trying to figure out how to feed, clothe, and keep them all sane. I'm not a parent. I've never wanted to be a parent, and now I'm suddenly responsible for 3 kids who've been through way more than they should have. I'm angry at my parents for putting me in this position. I'm angry at the system for not stepping in sooner. And honestly, I'm angry at myself for not doing more to prevent this. But what could I have done? I've been busting my ass just to keep my own life together, and now it feels like it's all crashing down. So here I am, turning to Reddit because I don't know where else to go. I need advice, legal advice, parenting advice, life advice, anything you can offer. Right now, I'm just trying to keep my head above water, but I know I can't do this alone. Do I try to get custody of the kids? Can I even afford to do that? Should I be looking into foster care? What's the best way to help these kids without completely destroying my own life in the process? And how do I even begin to explain to them what's happening? The 9-year-old keeps asking when her parents are coming back, and I don't have the heart to tell her the truth. The 14-year-old won't talk to me, and I'm worried he's going to act out. The 7-year-old is, well, he's 7. He needs structure and stability, and I'm barely holding it together as it is. I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm pissed off at the world, but I'm also determined to do right by these kids, even if I have no idea what that looks like right now. So please, Reddit, tell me, what the hell do I do next? Update: things have started to look up. After spending hours on the phone with social services and doing a ton of research, I found out that I qualify for kinship care assistance. It's not a ton of money, but it's enough to help cover the basics and take some of the financial pressure off me. It feels like a small win in the middle of all this chaos. With the help of a caseworker, I've also started the process of applying for a bigger place. Right now, we're crammed into my small apartment, which is barely big enough for me, let alone 3 kids. But with the kinship assistance and some other programs I've been pointed toward, I'm hopeful we'll be able to move into a house soon, somewhere with enough space for everyone to breathe. The kids are starting to adjust, little by little. The 14-year-old and I had a long talk the other night, and he opened up about how much pressure he's been feeling. I told him it's not his job to take care of everyone, and that I'm here to shoulder that responsibility now. It's going to take time, but I think he's starting to trust me. The 9-year-old has been a bit tougher. She misses her parents and doesn't really understand why they're not coming back anytime soon. I've been honest with her in the gentlest way I can, and we've started talking about ways to keep her connected to them, like writing letters. It seems to help a little. As for the 7-year-old, he's just happy to have a stable routine for once. I've enrolled all 3 of them in school, and the structure has been a game changer. The little guy loves his new teacher and has already made a few friends, which is a huge relief. I'm not going to lie, I'm still angry. Angry at my parents for putting us all in this position, angry at the system for not stepping in sooner, and angry at myself for not being more prepared. But I'm also starting to feel something I haven't felt in a long time: hope. This isn't the life I planned for myself. I'm 22 and I had dreams and goals that didn't involve raising 3 kids. But these kids didn't ask for any of this, and they deserve a chance at a better life. If that means I have to put my plans on hold for a while, so be it. I'm still figuring things out, but for the first time in days, I feel like we might actually be okay. I've got a lot to learn, and I know there will be challenges ahead, but we're taking it one step at a time, and for now, that's enough.